Student page 133. A clothing manufacturer has 1,000 yards of cotton to make shirts and pajamas. A shirt requires 1 yard of fabric and a pair of pajamas requires 2 yards of fabric. It takes 2 hours to make a shirt and 3 hours to make the pajamas. There are 1,600 hours available to make the clothing. What are the variables? Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let A be the shirts and B is going to be the pajamas. It says, what are the constraints? Well, the constraints are how much fabric and how much time. So I would call this time and material. And we need some inequalities for these. So the thing is we can either make shirts which take 1 yard of fabric and pajamas which take 2 yards of fabric. So we're talking about how much fabric you're using, 1 for the shirts and 2 for the pajamas. And we can't make more than we have, so we have to do less than or equal to 1,000. And then similarly, we have to think about how long it takes to make a shirt, because remember we said time and material. I did material first, shame on me. It takes 2 hours to make a shirt and 3 hours to make pajamas, and we can't spend more than 1,600 hours altogether. So the next thing we're going to do is graph these and shade the solution set. We're shading because we have those less thans in there. Let's start with how many shirts could we get, or how many pajamas can we get? If I don't make any shirts at all, I can get 500 pajamas. And vice versa. If I don't do any pajamas, I can get 1,000 shirts. So here is the first line for my equation. And go ahead and lay this down here. Okay, like that one. Now the second equation says that we can have, well, let's just go ahead and do the zeros again. The zeros are the quickest, easiest way. Oh, it's not going to be quite so pretty. But if we make absolutely no pajamas, we can get 800 shirts in those hours. These were marked by 50s, so this is 800 right here. And then if we if we make no shirts, we're going to have to think about what 1,600 divided by 350 is. And it's about 533, so I said this was 550. So it's somewhere right about here. Now let's go ahead and draw a line. Now, we also have these less than items to look at, so let's go ahead and we'll shade for this one. We can make anything less than what we see, we just can't make more, right? So we're going to shade this area and keep shading. So let's reshade everything. This is what it looks like. Next, we're asked, what does the shaded region mean? And this shaded region means that these, and remember, we're going to take just the parts where it overlaps. So we're only looking at this much. And let me go ahead and darken it in just a little bit. All of this horrible mess here, sorry, I'm making a really big mess of it, but that's like, those are the possible combinations of pajamas and tops that we can make without running out of material or time. Suppose the manufacturer makes a profit of $10 on shirts and $8 on pajamas. How would he decide how many of each to make? Well, to begin with, he's going to need to make the maximum possible. That means he's going to have to pick this point, or this point. Anything left over isn't going to be worth his doing. So he should either make, looks like we should do 0 shirts and 500 pajamas, or he should make, what is that, 200 shirts and 400 pajamas, or possibly just 800 pajamas and no shirts. It says how many of each should he make, assuming that he will sell all the shirts and pajamas he makes. Well, what we know is that he's going to make $10 profit for every pajama, that's the A's, and he's going to make $18 profit for all of the pajamas he makes. We're going to have to take these combos 0 and 500, 200 and 400, 800 and 0, and find out what's going to give him the most money. So 10 times 0, let's just make this a table, plus 18 times 500, that is 0 plus 9,000. Ooh, like that kind of money. That sounds good, huh? Which is 9,000. And then the next possibility is he could make $10 for each of the 200 shirts, plus $18 for each of 400 pajamas. That's going to give us 2,000 for the shirts, and another for the pajamas. That's $9,200. And finally, he could make $10 for just making 800 shirts and no pajamas. Wow, he doesn't want to make no pajamas, that's for sure. No pajamas, $18 for a pajama. He wants to do that. This is only $8,000 plus nothing. Oof. Well, I think we can see that if we're feeling like we want to make the most money possible, that 9,200 is the winner, and that means 200 shirts and 400 pajamas is our best bet.